I got a couple of news stories. Actually, a few news stories. One of them's pretty fucking major. And we're gonna start off with some of the lighter ones first. First and foremost, we got ourselves a major victory in gaming today. Not just today, but you know, a couple days ago. Because I talked about this last week. The Stop Killing Games initiative, started by Ross from Recursive Farms, has been making a lot. There's been, you know, just been all over the gaming news last week and this week. A lot of people speaking out on it. You got people like PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, I'm trying to think of a couple others. Charlie, a whole lot of people. A whole lot of people have been talking about it. And just a couple days ago, ladies and gentlemen, both of the UK and the European petitions for Stop Killing Games have reached their goals. UK, as of the stream, has reached 158,613 signatures out of the 100,000 that they needed. Their deadline, I believe, was by, I think they needed this by the 14th, which they obviously succeeded in. And then the European petition, as of the stream, has reached 1,139,324 signatures out of its 1 million signature goal. And that deadline is the 31st. Obviously, it has succeeded in that end. And right now, even though we did succeed, it's not over yet. People are pushing for more signatures because there is the possibility of fake signatures, people who have broken the law, because if you signed the signature and are not a UK or European citizen, you could be given jail time, because this is for government legislation, not like, this is not like a change.org petition. And so there's pushes to get even more like legitimate signatures out there to offset the possible fake signatures, on top of the possibility of someone accidentally, like a citizen from either area accidentally messing up their initial signature and having to redo it, that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's pushes to get more signatures in because of that. But it's looking good. Everything's looking good, and as I just said earlier, even with this, it's not over yet, because it's still gonna be probably a few years down the pipeline before something is actually like done, because this is mainly to start talks in both the UK and European governments. Like, it's not like the moment this ends, it's like, bam, okay, cool, everyone gets to own their games. No, we have to actually, obviously, this is a process. Like, laws take a very long time to do. So, again, it could be a couple of years before we see real changes being made, which, on that note, I'm actually going to be adding this as a quick little side note here, because it was breaking news, I believe, yesterday, which is pseudo related to this. EA has announced that they will be shutting down the servers of Anthem, which I know probably your initial thought is, wait a minute, Anthem was still up? Yes, in fact it was. Anthem, not only was it still up and running, it still had, I'd like to think, I don't think you can actually check the player count on Anthem, but I think it was still pretty decent. Relatively decent or small size, I'm not sure. But I know that game had its audience. Like, there were people who liked it despite its flaws, and that goes with literally any game out there. But yeah, EA came out I think it was like yesterday, and they were like, yeah, in January 2026 will be the final month for Anthem. So again, this is gonna be another case of you know, people who bought this game when it came out at $60, yeah, they're gonna lose that. And obviously Anthem was kind of in the news after its release, because it was announced that BioWare was trying to do essentially in a Realm Reborn type update to Anthem, which was titled Anthem Next, which in February 2021, it was announced that they stopped developing for that game because, God forbid, we try and make a game better so that it's more profitable. I guess. And then they were also working on Dragon Age the Veilguard, which we all know how that panned out. So yeah, if you guys wanted to get any last things done in Anthem before it shuts down at the beginning of next year, now is your time to do it. I think it still goes on sale quite frequently if you are curious. I was actually quite curious in trying it out because it does go on sale often, but I don't know. Maybe it'll wait until maybe December or so. But yeah, January 2026, the end of one of the most disastrous launches in BioWare's history. That was kind of the point where we slowly. Well, I mean, you could make the argument that Mass Effect Andromeda was the start of a lot of gamers realizing that BioWare wasn't the same as it used to be. But moving on from one live service game to another, it has been announced, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting reinforcements in Helldivers 2, baby. Because it's been announced that Xbox players will be joining. Will be jumping into the fray and helping us fight against the Terminid, Automaton, and the Illuminate threat. This is a glorious day for democracy. Always down to have more reinforcements join us in the fight. Which could also mean, technically speaking, we could possibly see some Halo cosmetics in the future. That's like the one of the few times where I'm like, hey, you know what? I actually wouldn't mind some Halo crossover stuff on this, because it kind of makes a little bit of sense in the world of Halo. But yeah, and now we gotta get to the main story of this week, ladies and gentlemen. Because we're talking about Xbox, we gotta talk about Microsoft and everybody that has been laid off. So from what I understand, 9,000 employees across a lot of Microsoft subsidiaries have been laid off from the company. On top of that, it's resulted in a multitude of projects getting canceled. The Initiative studio, who was working on the Perfect Dark reboot, suffered a bunch of layoffs, and on top of that, the reboot of Perfect Dark has been canceled. Rare has also been subject to layoffs, which caused the cancellation of their game Everwild, which was released, or not released, it was announced back in 2019 by the looks of it, and it seemed like it was going to be like a fantasy adventure game, but that has been canceled. And on top of that, a veteran of Rare, Greg Males, who's been there for 35 years, has left the company. Then you have Romero Games, who I guess was working on a shooter, like a new shooter game, had all of its funding pulled, and it's likely that the entire development team of that has also been laid off. ZeniMax also being hit with layoffs, along with the cancellation of a new MMO that ZeniMax was working on. ZeniMax obviously being the developers of Elder Scrolls Online. They were working on another game, which was codenamed Blackbird. That has been canceled as a result of the layoffs. I forgot Microsoft bought King Mobile. Yeah, King Mobile suffered 200 layoffs. I don't know if anything has. I don't know if they were actually working on anything that caused it to get canceled. But obviously, King, Candy Crush, you've likely heard of them. There was another game that was hit with layoffs. The Forza team. Wait, why is it not? Okay, I had this Eurogamer article pulled up, and I'm not seeing it now. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Forza Motorsport. It has been shelved also, as well as more layoffs from Turn 10. It's just a tragic. It's rough. Because not only was Microsoft, doing all these layoffs, reportedly the Splitgate 2 developers also got hit with layoffs relatively recently. So it's everyone's getting hit. Everyone's getting hit, and it does suck. It does, because you have all these potentially amazing projects getting canceled, on top of just all of these people being left out of a job. My heart does go out to all the developers across all of the Microsoft's subsidiaries that that got laid off over this past week. And who knows if this will lead, who knows if this will lead to more layoffs, because we just don't know. We just don't know what's happening right now. I know, obviously, not just the companies that is listed, but other companies have generally been seen as like the golden boys of Microsoft, like Bethesda. Like Bethesda, not entirely in the clear either. Bethesda could also be hit with layoffs very soon, and especially now when Bethesda needs something after the disappointment that was Starfield, and given that they still have yet to show off anything new from Elder Scrolls 6 other than the fact that we're working on it. That's literally all they've said. I did not see anything on a Banjo-Kazooie game getting shelved. The only thing I saw was Everwild. That was the only thing I saw. But it would be wild if it turned out that a rumored Banjo-Kazooie game was also shelved as a result. But again, I have not really seen any other articles point to that as far as I'm aware. But yeah. Again, just to reiterate, it sucks. And my heart does go out to them. But that is where I will end things for the news. What exactly will Microsoft have in a few years? I don't really know. Other than like a new Halo game, possibly. That's like the only thing I can think of that they could have, because you had the Halo development team rebranding and announcing that they're switching exclusively to Unreal 5 instead of using their own engine. I guess Fable. I guess if the new Fable game is good, they got that. But they don't really have a whole... I mean, Call of Duty... I don't really associate Microsoft a whole lot with Call of Duty. I just associate Call of Duty as being like an everything thing. Which actually, speaking of Call of Duty, I'll actually tack this on to the news for next week. But Call of Duty did actually announce today that they are getting rid of Call of Duty HQ, which is that shitty launcher thing that they were using, where it's like, oh, even if you just get Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 3, you had to download Call of Duty HQ. It was a very stupid launcher. No one liked it. And they announced today that that's going away, so you can just download Modern Warfare 2 separately. Same with Modern Warfare 3. You don't have to go through... You basically don't have to use up as much storage space as you did with Call of Duty HQ. Which could also mean possibly making it easier to just download Modern Warfare 2 campaign or multiplayer without having to download shit like DMZ or Warzone. So, hey, that's another pretty big win. Haven't touched Call of Duty in a hot minute. Not since they started adding a bunch of random stuff to Black Ops 6. Because, by God, I saw a video today. It was one of the kill death animations for Beavis and Butthead, because they added Beavis and Butthead to fucking Call of Duty. They are really just trying to become the new Fortnite, even though, you know, Fortnite's gonna Fortnite, and Fortnite's gonna kick Call of Duty's ass when it comes to like any sort of, because you want to play as any character nowadays, you might as well just play Fortnite. it's kind of wild to think about. You got Hatsune Miku, you got Kratos, you got Master Chief, you got Hank Hill from King of the Hill. I'm not even kidding. You got fucking Peter Griffin. I don't know if Homer Simpson's in it, but I won't be surprised if they add Homer in at some point in the future. Oh yeah, Jay and Silent Bob are in Call of Duty. Cheech and Chong are in Call of Duty, which I gotta say, Cheech and Chong's kill animation is really hilarious. I find it incredibly hilarious. I would recommend looking it up if you ever get the chance. Yeah, Cody Rhodes, Rhea Ripley, Rey Mysterio.